Without question, one of the greatest times of stress in the life of a person is a time of widowhood. It has been estimated that the number of widowed persons worldwide in 2020 was approximately 350 million. Of that number, 80% were women. In making the transition to widowed status, the bereaved are often confronted with a variety of personal and familial problems. They are not always successful in adapting to these circumstances. One researcher reported that when compared to married persons, the widowed rather consistently show higher rates of mortality, mental disorders, and even suicide. The bereavement process is stressful. Evidence does show that persons who have lost their mates generally experience poorer health than those who are still married. In the case of older bereaved spouses, in particular, loneliness and difficulties associated with the task of daily living are among the most common and difficult adjustments to make. It is not uncommon for a widow to lose 75% of her base support upon the death of her spouse. Financial needs among widows are often great. So it's no coincidence then that one of the clearest mandates of Scripture is in regard to the care of widows. There are more than 80 different biblical passages that speak of this concern. James addresses our responsibility in James 1:27. Pure and undefiled religion before God and the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their trouble and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. There are widows who can care for themselves financially. When that is possible, then they should, according to 1 Timothy 5. But regardless of economic conditions, the church must recognize the loss and find compassionate, tender ways of helping during the difficult transition time. A presence ministry is often needed. Being present may include practical help, particularly with jobs that the deceased spouse may have done. It may include anything from cutting the grass to technical support with computer to shopping and cooking. In some cultures, women are often neglected or even shamed. Where this may be the case, the church should honor them by showing God's love and care for them. The church, as His representative, is called to walk beside them to help spiritually, socially, and practically. While Scripture focuses primarily on widows because of their social and economic vulnerability, God certainly desires for us to care for all people during their time of loss. Men also have social and spiritual needs that can be easily impacted by the loss of their spouse. Every church should have a special ministry for those who bereave the loss of a spouse. The caring church demonstrates its compassion regardless of the reason, whether the person be male or female. A major goal for Possibility Ministries in the local church is to work towards restoring a sense of dignity and personal worth in the individuals served. Linked with this objective is both the discovery of hidden talents and the use of the ones already known, and they use them for the service of others. The example of Jesus was clearly shown by His own reaching out with His understanding and hope and belief in the individual. It included opening doors of opportunity for service. Restoring means to life is the heart of all forms of Possibility Ministry, and especially for those who are bereaving the loss of their spouse.